to get that thing because it looked like it was going to start poorly. And Caleb is still – he's kind of a great example of why they should have brought in coach with him right away.
Yep, of course.
Because you can see, like, he'll make some throws and you go, gosh, that's it. That's why he went number 1 overall. But then he also does some absolutely dumbfounding things. He did a play yesterday where the whole time I'm like, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. Then he like peeled back in. He got all the way to the sideline and peeled back in and then took a big shot. And and you're going, and then that ends up being 4th down. You're like a loss of 8. And it's like, what are we doing here? Throw it away at any point, and he just won't. It's got to be equal parts like, this is why I took the job, and at times like, dude,
yeah,
that ain't it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Stream's up.
Hello, G-Man.
Stream is up. It's been a really frustrating day for us back here.
You're fine, G-Man. Don't complain. It's unbecoming of you. It's unbecoming of you, G-Man. Be better. You're Wadsworth.
Yep.
That's healthy.
Exactly.
That's sturdy stock. You're used to things. You got to fight. Damn it. That's what Grizzlies are made to do.
Yes.
8-0 Grizzlies.
They are. They're rolling. Can't get any love on the game of the week, though.
Neither can Hudson. It's
no,
crazy.
They get no love. Gibby's picking it every week. He's picking his teams.
He's picking against us.
Hold on.
Left and right.
Looking at two
Olmsted
people on
Falls
that
every
committee.
week.
There's 2 people on that committee, number 1, that you're looking at.
Well, look at this guy. What's he?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm dying.
Throwing darts.
He's high school football Nate.
High school football Nate, too?
It knows
What
no
can
bounds,
he do?
folks.
What can he do?
Yeah. There you go. Exactly.
Can you wait till he's like little Luca's like a sophomore at Chagrin Falls, and you got you're
I want to know what kind of parent he's going to be.
Oh, he's going to be great.
What does that mean?
He's going to be an amazing football parent, and he's going to have what's going to be crazy about it is he's going to be on the Joe Idol sites, and he's going to come in. He's like, on Joe Idol, it looks like we're the 4 seed, but I don't understand. Why aren't we the 3? We beat them, and we're going to have to explain to him that it's strength of schedule and who you played, and are you playing up, are you playing back, all of those things. It's going to be so great, Gibby, when those days happen. I can't wait.
Listen, I'm a Billy Idol guy.
Beautiful.
Rock the cradle of love.
He really did. He brought it.
The Joe Itel.
That's
I
my
love
guy.
Joe Itel, by the way.
Love that
It's
guy.
like 0.05 of a point. If Gahana loses at Upper Sandusky,
That's it.
so-and-so is in.
It's all you need. It's so
There's
great.
a guy who
Week
does
10,
like he's got like
Week 10,
spreadsheets on,
dude,
on
he
high
is-
school.
Oh no,
He
it's
is-
not. He does the computer
He's
rankings.
legit.
Because in Ohio, the high school football is computer rankings. It's the only state that I know that's done it. Of all the places I've covered high school football, nobody else does it this way with computer rankings, but Ohio does. And he predicts what it's going to look like. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Best
absolutely
site
incredible.
going for our research.
It's the best, isn't it? Cal? You know, I mean, that's it. You go look there, and then you can. What's amazing, you can click through to any team and their schedule. I used it when I used to do the high school sports site, and all the high school state championship stuff was on ONN. I used it every single week, all the time. Like I just lived on that site, getting a better handle on who was good and who wasn't around the state. So,
All right, you want to know who I went with this week?
tell me.
I think I picked some good ones. Let's see. So far, my picks have been. I'm going to go back to week 1. Gibbe picked in the first one. Let's see. All right, first one. Here we go.
I'm pretty sure I know who I picked.
He did Lake Catholic. This is week 1. He did Lake Catholic versus Avon. I did Lutheran West versus Aurora, powerhouses. Then he did Medina Wadsworth, which you stole from me. I was going to do Wadsworth.
Wait,
good one.
I did pick Wadsworth.
I was going to do Wadsworth because that's the name of my broadcast partner in AIW.
We're going to roll Medina.
And
It was
so
week
I picked
2, G-Man.
Kirtland Perry, isn't Kirtland? Kirtland then Perry? Is that like
That's a good one.
Big
Moped
Lake
man?
County game. That's a
big game, yeah.
That's the wrong Perry.
big Lake County game, but dialed in?
I think we went over this last time. He goes, "Isn't this where Mo Pedman's from?" And I said, "No, wrong Perry. This one's on the lake."
Then you did NDCL versus Benedictine, and I did Highland versus Aurora.
You're a big Aurora guy.
Well, I mean, that's the local. You got to go local.
Getting your folks
Home
in there
of
a lot.
Walden. Home of Walden. Then I picked this one where I went absolutely loaded. Gibbe went Cantlin, McKinley, Perry, and I went Massillon, St. Ed's. I mean,
Oh, that's a great one, yeah.
Those are two outstanding ones.
Yeah.
See,
Massillon won 4 years in a row.
I feel
Yeah.
pretty dialed. Then Gibbe goes Lake Catholic versus Elyria Catholic, and I went John.
That was a rough one.
John Hay versus University School.
You got me on that. God bless.
Listen, U.S. I know the U.S. team that is that Luminary Sunzine went undefeated.
The young freshman squad, yeah. They were
The young
rolling.
freshman squad there.
They were rolling.
So think about
Yeah.
them in a few years. I'm ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Then we got Gibbe, I think, skipped this week. Shame on you. And
I didn't. I missed last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you skipped that week.
I was in the London fog. This week I was dialed in.
And you could have put Olmsted Falls in. It was Olmsted Falls Berea.
Yeah, that would have been a good
Olmsted
one.
Falls with a big win.
I did
They're 5-3.
I did Cardinal Mooney versus Harding.
That's yours this week?
That was
No, it
mine
was
last
last
week.
Oh, that was a big one. Good job out of you. That's.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
And
what
then
did you have this week?
Gibbe has Rocky River versus Buckeye.
Yeah.
And I went. And remember, we only have a
Rocky River
limited,
Buckeye is huge.
We have like a
It's like
6.
We
eight-
didn't
no,
get the
7-1.
ESPN Cleveland Game of the Week there, Gibby.
We only
There
have like
you go.
6 games that we get to pick from.
Oh,
so I
okay.
went with the Kenston Bombers against Mayfield for S.
There you go.
Kenston, proud tradition.
I
Good-
saw the
good
poor
school.
kids from Barberton is one of the picks, and they didn't field a team against Medina last week. So I'm hoping that they have their team in order. 'Cause
Yeah.
I believe I have that right. I think it was last week or the week before they couldn't field a team against
You have it
Highland.
right.
Was it last week, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
just
were,
didn't have
yep.
enough kids. So hopefully they're able to. But there you go. Good job out of you guys. Well researched as always.
Is Mr. Zastudil there?
He's
'Cause
not.
If that's the case.
No,
Okay, he should be there momentarily.
I don't doubt that.
And if so, we may flip segments 2 and 3.
All right. Let me just get
Producing on the fly.
let me get
This is why
corporate
you're such a legend.
real quick as we wait for Mr. Zastudil's arrival, and he and I will discuss a great many things. I would like corporate Nate's thoughts on the big announcement that happened yesterday during our show in the 4 o'clock hour.
Well, I think it's fantastic that the Cleveland Browns, the Haslam Sports Group, and the city of Cleveland reached a historic $1 million agreement for the residents of the city of Cleveland and the region. So yesterday, it is a $100 million commitment from Haslam Sports Group to the city of Cleveland that will accelerate the lakefront transformation and prepare the current lakefront stadium site for redevelopment, and the city's commitment to supporting the continuing progress and timely completion of the Browns' future home in Brook Park. So they will move forward together, said Mayor Bibb. I'm proud to deliver this historic deal to the residents of the city of Cleveland. My administration, with the Haslam support, will finally unlock the full potential of our lakefront, benefiting all residents and attracting new investment to the city. Because of Mayor Bibb's leadership and this monumental public-private partnership, we are accelerating the transformation of Cleveland's lakefront while delivering a new world-class stadium and mixed-use development in Brook Park. It's a win for the city, the region, and the fans, said HSG principal partners Dee and Jimmy Haslam. We will always be the Cleveland Browns. This agreement reflects a continued commitment by the Haslam-Johnson family to strategically invest in the city of Cleveland community programs, building on the family's consistent charitable giving across the region since taking leadership in 2013. So this is one of those things. We'll break down what exactly is all in here. Thank you enough from the clown. I appreciate the compliments. HSG is going to pay the city of Cleveland $25 million by December 1st, 2025. HSG will raise the current Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland to pad-ready state at the Browns' expense, estimated to be $30 million. Beginning on January 1, 2029, they will pay the city of Cleveland $5 million on or before January 1st of each calendar year until January 1st, 2033, totaling $25 million over 5 years. Upon termination of the lease, they will invest no less than $2 million per year over the next 10 years on a mutually agreed community benefits project totaling no less than $20 million. They will mutually support infrastructure plans related to road and air travel with respect to both the Brook Park Stadium mixed-use project, the modernization of Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, the development of Cleveland Lakefront, including the redevelopment of the Burke Lakefront Airport property. The city to support continuing progress and timely completion of transformational Brook Park Stadium and mixed-use development, and both parties will voluntarily dismiss all lawsuits with prejudice related to Browns Huntington Bank Field move to Brook Park, Ohio. This is big. This is big for the city. This is big for the region. It is big for the Cleveland Browns. It's big for Brook Park and the stadium, all of it. And I think that this also paves the way and should pave the way for the county to get involved on a massive project that is in its county.
Yep.
Because the big hang-up before was it's not in the city. We're only supporting in the city. Well, now if the city's on board with this move, and they have agreed to it, they have dropped all lawsuits. They are now fully in support of this move to Brook Park. They're going to get money from HSG to redevelop $100 million to redevelop the lakefront. This feels to me that the county needs to be involved and be a participant, and so that makes this deal have even more a broader economic impact for this region. And I think that is a fantastic thing. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a huge win. I think that it's a win for the city. And it is a win for the HSG, and it's a win for all the fans and everybody who lives in this area to have a world-class facility, but also know now that this city has an opportunity and the financial resources and backing to really do what they've talked about for a great many years but have never done, and that is develop that lakefront. So I think it's kind of a historic day, I'll be honest. I thought it was unbelievable, and for it to come on the birthday of Senior Swag, no less, feels very appropriate.
Yeah,
it was a big day to be a member of the Northeast Ohio community that I am certainly proud to be one of.
well said, sir. Gibby Trey, he and DLD, but when are you going to start Olmsted Falls Daily? Go Dogs. OFD.
Go Dogs. Hey, don't forget, though, I'm also from Lakewood, L-Town.
I know, but these are your boys. The Bulldogs are your boys.
They are, but
you're running
play in Olmsted Falls.
I mean, come on, you're running the concession stand. Come on,
a little bougie.
I am. I actually owe a concession stand visit.
Yeah, it's
that
time.
Might be I think that might be next weekend because I think they're on the road at Midview this week.
Yeah.
Senior night, Ridge-Tucky.
Oh, there you go.
That might be slinging the hot dogs.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Guess who's here? Guess who's here, kids?
The greatest.
DZ.
One of the best punters of our generation.
That's right. Mr. Zastudil's here. So he and I are going to talk for a little bit. We're going to do that coming up next. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Risk versus reward, presented by the Oswald Companies. Our good buddy Dave Zastudil going to join us coming up next. We're off and running. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet is official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for risk versus reward, presented by Oswald Companies. Former Browns punter, current managing director at Oswald Companies, our good buddy Dave Zastudil, joining me here in studio to give us his risk reward play of the game, brought to you by Oswald, the official risk advisor of your Cleveland Browns. Well, when you trail out of the gates, as we did in Pittsburgh, there's not a whole lot of risk out there for you to get reward on, because you end up chasing the game, my friend.
Yeah, it's a tough question for this game. Going into Pittsburgh just in general is not an easy thing to do.
No.
I've been there many times. The fourth quarter, that crowd gets going with that stick song, and it's just a passionate fan base, just like we have here. And you look at the difference of that game. I mean, they came in and they were 3-1, 4-1. I can't remember the exact record, and they're playing, and they understand where the AFC North is, right? So they understand that they go out, take care of business at home, they're going to separate themselves from the pack. I did think, when you look at the game, at halftime it was 9-3. It's a one score game. I love the fact that this rookie kicker, Andre Smith, is really becoming a reliable kicker. He overcame some obstacles in the first game, but he's really showing that he's everything they thought he would be. So I'm really happy that he's gone out there and kicked those opportunities. It's just everything about football is Monday morning quarterback. You watch the game, then you go back, and we've been doing this our whole lives and understand what we can do differently. But I guarantee there's some risk versus reward plays per se that they're watching in the film room that they wish they could go back. But the good thing about football is you can learn from it. Apply whatever you learn from that game, get better, and hopefully apply it versus the Dolphins this week.
You and I talked about Andre last time you were in studio, and one of the things that you're curious about is, and I loved your breakdown of it, you're like, get back to the mechanics, find the things. And I remember you saying that what you liked about it, and you talked to Phil, and what you guys said was, when you liked what he said post-game, because he knows what's wrong.
Yeah.
That it was a physical, mechanical switch, and then he flipped it. And he's been money ever since.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a punter, a kicker, and I've played with great ones, Phil Dawson, Jay Feely, Matt Stover, obviously the old Matt Stover kicker here, and even punters that I've talked with, whenever you get into a funk, and every punter and kicker gets into that funk, you have to go back to one thing, because your brain is racing and thinking about 2 to 3 things. So every good kicker that I've ever been with always told me when they got in that funk, remind them to take a short first step. Because if you take a short first step, you're going to be balanced. Your next step is going to be where you want it, and at least you're going to have an opportunity to get strength through the ball. If you overstep on that first step, the second step naturally gets longer. You're falling back. Your hips aren't getting through it, and that's when bad things happen. So when I looked at Andre Smith and I saw him talk post-game, it was good to hear him. He understood what he was doing wrong.
Yeah.
But I always tell kickers, all these young kickers, just if you get in a funk, focus on one thing. You do it every day of your life. Just focus on one thing, and the other stuff's going to come natural.
Yeah, it certainly does. And good job out of him for getting it flipped, because that's one of those things that can break a young kicker. You have a moment like that, you miss some things. And
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a ton, man. You're out there by yourself in those situations. You played in this league a long time. When you're in the middle of what we're in now, a 1-5 stretch, and we've got injuries and we've got tackle issues, and it doesn't feel we can't get anything going offensively, and the defense is going, man, it's a lot on us every week. How do teams that you've been on, if you've ever been in situations like that, how do they come out of it with, even if you can't get the results, which, not all the time, you're not always going to get them, but even if you don't get the results, how do you come out and show up each Sunday and perform to the standard that you've set for yourself and your team?
Well, it's a good question. A few things. Number one, you get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it helps.
You don't want to put that at risk, because there's not a lot of jobs out there when you leave football that's going to pay you like they do in football. Number two is, this is a really good time where leaders and organizations show up, players that are the leaders of the team. I guarantee the Browns are watching film, and they're looking at a lot of opportunities missed. They're looking at a lot of penalties. They're looking at a lot of fits that maybe just one individual on that offense just didn't do their job. But then they show, what if that guy did their job? And you can really see that the opportunities are there. And I've been on a lot of losing teams before, and in those team meetings, head coaches would show a lot of opportunities that if we just did our job, we have a chance to be successful. So I think, number one, you got to eliminate the mistakes. You got to eliminate the penalties, eliminate the mistakes. And then everybody has to realize going forward, if you just do your job, collectively we'll be fine. But it looks like we keep hurting ourselves. And then when you hear the players come up after the game saying, we keep doing the same mistakes, we keep doing the same things that are killing us, that has to stop. Once that stops, like Coach Stefanski says, you got to stop playing, you got to stop losing games and eliminate all that. Once you do that, the playing field's probably a little bit more even, then somebody's got to go make a play. A leader, a good football player has to make that good catch. Quarterback has to be aggressive, make that throw. But at the end of the day, you got to eliminate the mistakes that are killing you right now.
That's the jumping off point. You mentioned the quarterback, and it's interesting because one of the things Nathan and I discussed yesterday at great length is risk versus reward, which is what we call this segment. And Dylan Gabriel, 2 starts. There aren't those cataclysmic mistakes. He's not throwing it to the other team. But the other side of that is, as a young quarterback who is under constant duress because the tackle situation isn't great and people are coming at, he's getting hit a lot, he's getting rushed a lot. Yeah. The other thing that he's doing is he's getting it out so quick that sometimes there are plays that could be made, and so that comes back. That's a quarterback position though of the risk versus reward. So he's not turning the ball over. He's getting it out quick. He's trying to. He's pretty dang accurate. Be help if everybody caught passes that hit him in the hands. That would help. But the other thing is we have to get him to also see that with this risk down the field, there's a much bigger reward. So how do you get them to play that way when they're young?
Well, what's going to happen now, he's had 2 starts, so teams have film on him. They know what he's capable of, and they probably know his strengths, some of his weaknesses. But I don't think it's going to change with any rookie quarterback that they're going to bring pressure. So I think the Browns going in every week right now have to expect they're probably going to get more pressure, more blitz looks from the defense because it's a rookie quarterback, and there's been some injuries on the offensive line. So that's just natural. So you can game plan a little bit more because you're probably assuming that's going to happen. Number 2 is, I looked at the stat sheet, and I'm just a punter, but I was a high school quarterback. I love to throw the ball. I always love to throw the ball. But when you're at Pittsburgh with a rookie quarterback with injuries, and we're throwing the ball 52 times and running the ball, I don't know, 20, low 20s, the balance attack isn't there. And I think Coach Stefanski said forever that, and a lot of these coaches in the NFL always say, like, we want to go in with a balanced offense. Now, I understand when you're playing from behind, you got to throw the ball a little bit more. But I think if we can eliminate some of those mistakes early that don't get us behind the 8 ball, 1st and 20, 1st and 15, we can have more of a balanced attack, which then causes the defense not to be so predictable on what they're going to come and when they're going to blitz.
Well, that's the other part of it because, as you mentioned, I mean, it's 9-3. It's not like they're up 3 touchdowns
with the ball in the third, if I recall.
You're right, and so it's not like you're down 3 touchdowns. You got to score quick. And one of the things that was that we lamented a lot Monday, the Monday morning quarterback edition, was just 12 touches for Quinshon Judkins, who's kind of feels like the best weapon we got. And that's one of those things when you think about. We were talking to Joe Thomas about this on Monday, and one of the things that we were saying is, what are we on offense? What is our identity? When Kevin first got here, it was wide zone. It was Nick Chubb. It was play action off of it. Hit Jarvis on a dig, Odell down the side. That was what it is, Chief in the middle. We have to figure out what we are offensively. What is the identity of this team? And we just keep coming back to, feels like number 10 feels like the best, surest thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a chance to get him going last week.
Yeah, I think it's accumulation of a lot of things. I mean, you have a lot of rookies playing on this football team. If you look at the history of rookie quarterbacks, then you add in a 3rd-round rookie quarterback that probably wasn't penciled in to play this early when training camp came around. Everything is accelerated really, really quickly. But then when you're looking at, Jack Conklin being out, you look at DeJuan Jones being out, and then you sign Cam Robinson, there's been so much shifting on the offensive line where if you ask any offensive lineman, and a lot of guys, that continuity, that chemistry, that understanding each other is everything on the offensive line. So you got rookies playing, you got a rookie quarterback, you got an offensive line. It puts the offense in a very tough position, and that's why I want to go back to my original comment is you have got to look at the mistakes first and the false starts, lining up off the line, getting a penalty there. Those are easy things to correct. Yeah. And once you stop beating yourself and putting you 1st and 20, you at least have an opportunity to run the offense. But you go 1st and 20, that offensive game plan on that series automatically changes. And that's what I think we got to clean up. And I'm sure, I can just tell you that's what they're trying to do. That's what's going on.
Yeah, we know what's going on in there. The Dolphins coming to town on Sunday. They're in a little bit of a struggle bus as well. My hunch is, I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway. Just get a win, and then some of this stuff starts to get better, does it not?
Well, winning solves everything in football.
Yeah.
There's nothing like winning in the National Football League. I don't care if you're 1-14 or 1-15. You know that one. Anytime you win, you go and you celebrate and you feel good about yourselves because these guys put in hours upon hours. I mean, the coaching staff, some are here till midnight. I can't tell you enough of how hard the staff and the players really work in the National Football League. So when you get that win, it's a great celebration. The thing about a win, though, is you always are going to go back on film on Monday morning or 1 o'clock team meetings. You're still going to identify areas that you could have been even better. And I think that's what's nice about winning is you don't. Some of the mistakes are minimized when you win, but you still always go back and realize maybe you could have won by another touchdown if we would have done this. So you start building some optimism. Hey, guys, look, we won the game. However, we could have even been better if we did this, this, and that. So winning solves a lot of problems in the National Football League. If we win against the Dolphins this week, it's going to feel good. They're a team that seems like they're in leadership disarray a little bit right now.
Yep.
They're going through a really, really rough season to start the season as we are. So this is a game we should win. I mean, we're playing at home. We're favored. Obviously, they got some things they're dealing with. They got some injuries as well. Like I said, we just got to come out and play Browns football. I think we got to really focus on the running game and dominate that, which opens up the play action. I think in any game, any team would love to do that. But I think with the talent we have and some of these young guys, that will open up the offense even more if we can establish the run.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. Like, we haven't been home much. We've been on the road. We're Minnesota, we're London,
yeah.
Pittsburgh. Like, it's been all over the globe. And the home fans, it feels like I haven't looked at the extended, but it looks like it's going to be a decent day. It's kind of out. It seems like we got a good Sunday for it. Man, not just a win, but fans need a little fun on a Sunday to remind them why they fell in love with the team to begin with. So hopefully you can provide this team can provide a little of that on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, in all the great meetings I've ever been in, they always look at it's a third special teams, a third offense, a third defense. We have got to go out and win 2 or 3 of those facets in order to give us a chance to win. So if the offense isn't having a great day and the special teams is having a great day, you're probably not going to give yourself a best chance to win. So I think each unit is trying to find efficiencies on eliminating the mistakes, eliminating the bad things. And if we can just eliminate those things, it puts you in a position to win the game.
Yeah.
But if you're killing yourselves on a block punt or a big return and a couple turnovers and sacks, you're just not giving yourself a chance. And I think if I was in those meetings rooms, I would expect that's probably what's being discussed is we have to stop beating ourselves before we let the opponent beat us.
Dave, great stuff.
Yeah.
Great talking to you, my friend.
Yeah,
There
you
he
too.
goes.
Thanks for having me.
Browns punter, current manager director of the Oswald Companies, Dave Zastudil, in studio with us. It is Risk versus Reward presented by the Oswald Companies. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Honored. This is one of the best parts of the job. It's one of the most important shows I think that we do of the year, so I would urge everybody who is listening to pay attention to what you are going to hear over the next 10 minutes or so, because I am joined right now live from University Hospitals, Seidman Cancer Center. We are joined by Dr. Ted Technos, the president and scientific director of the Seidman Cancer Center here at UH, and this is one where you're doing such great work here, where people can listen to this and perhaps hear something that could ultimately go on to save their lives or the lives of a loved one. So I find that to be very important. But I'm going to start with this one. From the last year when we sat down with you to this year, what is the biggest advancement or the biggest change in our ability to fight cancer?
You know, Nathan, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. It's
Pleasure
always
to have
a lot
you.
of fun. And you're right, this is a very important topic. So as we mentioned, there's new discoveries and new treatments coming online every day for cancer treatment and cures. And I think probably what's most important is what does occur every day, and those are clinical trials. So what is a clinical trial? It's basically the concept that every drug that is used as standard care first undergoes a clinical trial for safety and for efficacy. So in cancer care, getting access to those drugs that are available first to you as a participant in a trial that can really change the course of that cancer therapy and everybody's cancer journey is really critically important. So at University Hospitals, we have about 400 clinical trials, and some of these trials are really resulting in remarkable responses to cancers that had previously been very difficult to treat. So clinical trials are critically important. The other thing that is a really important part of cancer care and cancer treatment are radiation machines and radiation therapy. So just this past year, University Hospitals was proud to be the first center in North America to install the Varian Ethos 2.0, which is a type of radiation therapy where it adjusts the treatment doses every day. So, you may think, okay, I have a colon cancer, and you do an x-ray, and you're going to deliver radiation therapy to that over the course of a few weeks. But every day you come in, you may have changes in your gut, the way things are aligned. So there's a CAT scan done every single time you show up, and the treatment is modified every time you come.
Wow.
And that has allowed much more specific, much more targeted treatment, better outcomes, and fewer side effects. So that Varian Ethos is something that we're really, truly proud of. And then the final thing that I think is really and continues to be one of the biggest advances is our cellular therapy treatment. So cellular therapy is where you take a patient's own cancer-fighting cells, T cells, out of their body, modify them genetically so that it identifies the cancer that they're fighting, and then you give it back to the patient. And then it goes around the patient's body and attacks their cancer and really minimizes damage to any other part of the body. And you can then train these T cells to identify cancers, whether it be leukemias, lymphomas, and now we have new ones that are being created for other blood malignancies and even some solid tumors.
So obviously, this is near, and I know what you were just talking about right there, near and dear to our heart with Jim Donovan, obviously. And how far has that even come in the last year in terms of kind of the cellular kind of the immunotherapy that you're talking about, those treatments?
It's really remarkable. Like I said, every day is a new discovery and a new wonder. So, these cellular therapies and what Jim had used to take about a month, to take the cells out. They're literally filtered out of your bloodstream, these T cells, and then they're modified. It used to take about a month to get those cells modified. Then our own laboratory here got it down to about a week, which, really was critically important. But then one of our scientists over the past year, his name is Dr. David Wald, developed a technique where you can do it in 24 hours. So you can take blood out of a patient, and not even through a filtering process, but almost like donating blood at the Red Cross. Filter the cells out of there, make the modification in 24 hours, give it back to the patient. So it doesn't have to go anywhere. It's a low resource setting, so you don't have to have fancy machines. And that particular discovery won the first prize at an international award, at an international conference, because not only was it quick, but it was also as effective, if not a little bit more effective, and the treatments lasted longer, so the patient's cancers didn't come back.
Well, and I would imagine if you can cut 27, 28, 29 days off of a waiting period when you're dealing with an aggressive cancer, that is
and sometimes
invaluable.
Sometimes people don't have 27 days, so it really was a remarkable discovery. So that's probably the biggest advance that's come out of UH over the last year or so.
That's incredible. And then you mentioned the clinical trials. UH has the nation's first ever clinical trial where you've repurposed the cholesterol drug fenofibrate, and you're seeing good results with that.
Yeah, this is a really interesting trial. So, what I do, I'm a head and neck surgeon, and one of the diseases I treat is a cancer of the tonsil or the back of the tongue. That is related to the HPV virus. So getting human papillomavirus, it's the same virus that causes cervical cancer in women. So that virus is increasing dramatically. The incidence of cancers from that particular virus have gone up threefold, 300% in the last 30 years. And the treatments can be very toxic. One of the scientists at university hospitals, though, figured out why the virus causes these cancers, and then said, how can we disrupt what the virus does? So he looked at drugs that were available and used some chemistry, and then figured out that this drug, fenofibrate, which has been used for decades for cholesterol treatment, actually nullified the HPV virus and eliminated these cancers with very few side effects. So it worked dramatically well in the lab, cured these cancers in lab animals, and now this very well-tolerated drug is being used for HPV-related malignancies in a clinical trial, starting in cervical cancer, so in women who have cervical cancer, and now moving over to head and neck cancers as well. So that's one way that AI, this was an AI-enabled discovery, is being used to improve patients' lives today.
So kind of walk us through that. How did the AI... How did that help in this case?
So what Dr. Pan was able to figure out is, okay, the virus meets the DNA at a certain level, and he had developed drugs that could, essentially block that lock and key model, and then he said, okay, well, what available compounds are there out there using AI that could do the same thing, have the structure and the size that could fit there, and it spit out fenofibrate. And then that drug's now in clinical trials.
How long does it take a drug to go from, let's take this one, fenofibrate, and I would imagine you're using it with some of your patients perhaps as you get into the neck and throat. Mm-hmm. How long does it take for you to go, yeah, this is working, and then graduate out of that clinical trial to then just be the standard procedure?
That's a great question. So I think under traditional discovery, you'd have to discover it in a lab, build it in a chemical lab, do what's called GMP grade discovery of it, and then get it through the FDA, and that can take decades. But when you take a drug that's already used, approved, it's already in clinical trials now. So if it's proven to be safe and effective, this could be in the clinic in a matter of a couple of years.
Wow, that's incredible. And that's one of the cool things about this when we do it is not only do we learn so much, but just the hope that it comes with hearing of all the advancements, because I don't know any of us who have not been touched, unfortunately, by cancer, and to know that we're getting closer and closer, every year, and kind of a wrap, as you always said, more's happened in the last 2 years than the previous 20 combined.
Yeah, it is amazing.
We're getting closer to that.
That is very true. I mean, I think, the survival rate in the last 30 years in cancer has improved by 30%. So it used to be that only 35% of people who were diagnosed with cancer beat their cancers. Now it's 65%, and just literally since 1991, major improvements.
That is incredible. Now, one of the things to not only what you can do, to avoid getting it or to have one of those good outcomes is early detection. That is, it's crucial. That's why it's called Crucial Catch. It's crucial to catch cancer early. So I'm a man. I'm 45. Well, now I'm 47. I've had my colonoscopy. I got 10 years, which I'm thrilled about. But what would you say to men out there who are 45 or above who have not yet gotten their colonoscopy?
Get off your butt and get your colonoscopy. So, I mean, there's no excuse not to have a colonoscopy. It's a simple procedure. It's incredibly accurate, and it's the best way to detect malignancies early. If you catch a cancer early, universally the outcomes are really good. Breast cancer, if you catch it in the earliest stages, is 99% curable. Colonoscopy for colon cancer, you can actually prevent yourself from getting a colon cancer, because many times prior to developing a cancer, you develop a polyp that's pre-malignant. You snip that polyp off, you're not going to get cancer. So get your colonoscopy for men starting at age 45, men and women, and then women get their mammograms starting at age 40. Now, if you have a genetic predisposition or a family history, you may want to do it earlier.
But colon cancer, for example, is one of the most preventable if you follow the procedures. That should not be something that is a problem.
It's preventable, and you can detect it early, so even if you do develop it, early detection, high cure rates.
You were talking with me earlier about something that might be the future here, is that, blood tests that could potentially identify any number of cancers in your body, to the point where, I was at, actually it was a UH-sponsored event that was at the stadium, and people were coming with all these various technologies, and one was something that was wearable to determine, dehydration, because that's so important for your body. And, we could get to the point where you have something that's constantly checking you for cancers. What kind of, if you look at it from the next, year to call it 5 years, just from cancer screening, how do you think that's going to change as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there is an commercially available test right now, blood test, where you can actually have a simple blood draw, and then your blood is sent to a laboratory. The DNA from your blood is extracted, and then the signals that are in your blood are compared to cancers. So with a very high degree of accuracy, you can detect cancers before they're even symptomatic in you. So this particular test, if you get a negative study and it says you do not have a signal for cancer, you're 99.5% guaranteed not to have cancer. And then if you do get a positive signal on that test, it'll say, you know what? You have a signal that looks like you may have colon cancer or lung cancer, so go get it checked out. And that clearly, because you have no symptoms, would be a very, very early detection and could improve your outcomes as well. So the future, I think, is going to be where these tests are going to come down in price. People are going to have them done on a regular basis. And as we joked about, it's not out of the, sort of realm of possibility that there may be a wearable device, kind of like, when we do a glucose screen, with the, the patch that's on your arm, that will be continuously monitoring our bloodstream for, cancer-related DNA.
Which is awesome, because I think everybody knows about what you can do for colon cancer and what you can do for, breast cancer. Those are kind of two screenings that everybody knows about, and hopefully everybody takes it and utilizes, but you don't have screenings for so many other things.
That's
and
correct.
This is a way to maybe get there. Now, getting those screenings, early detection, all of that's important, but there are also lifestyle factors, right, that are incredibly important to your ability to stay cancer-free as well. And I know we've been seeing young people get cancer more frequently in the last few decades. What else can you do in your life to try to limit your risks?
Yeah, this is where I, end up looking like a downer, right? Because the way to limit your risk.
Some of it sounds fun, yes, but go ahead.
So the best ways to limit your risk of cancer throughout your lifetime is, not using tobacco. Tobacco is an extreme carcinogen. I mean, it's tied to so many different malignancies. So not using tobacco and limiting your exposure to even secondhand smoke is critically important. So no smoking. Limiting your alcohol. Even some studies say cut it out altogether. not only for cancer risks, but for dementia risks and other things. So no smoking.
What about red wine, though? Come on, Doc.
That could be protective, Nathan.
Okay,
That could be
all right,
protective.
okay, all right.
So that's why I say limiting your
Limiting.
alcohol.
Okay, thank you.
So no tobacco, limit your alcohol.
No tobacco. We're check on that.
Limit alcohol, eat well. And what does that mean? A healthy diet, and really primarily plant-based diet. That's really the healthiest diet if you look at it for both heart and cancer health. But moderation,
Yep.
right? Red meat, excess red meat is a known carcinogen, actually, for colorectal cancer. So limiting your red meat, eating more
If you're going to eat
vegetables.
red meat, get that colonoscopy.
That's right. That's the way to do it. And something that all of us should do is exercise regularly. That certainly limits your risk of malignancy. Use sunscreen, because the rates of melanoma are really rising and other skin cancers. And then finally, get your screenings.
Yep.
Be sure you regularly follow your screenings, and those are really critically important.
And one other thing is here, the vaccine for HPV, because you were talking about all the cancers you're seeing with HPV. That is totally preventable?
Absolutely. So, if the rates of cervical cancer and head and neck cancer in individuals who've been vaccinated really are virtually eliminated. So, and because it covers so many of the the cancer-causing viruses in the HPV family, so 20% of malignancies are related to a virus. Not all of them HPV related, but
Sure.
we do have vaccines to HPV. So being vaccinated against HPV will prevent people from developing cervical cancer, head and neck cancer, and anorectal cancer.
Was that around when we have that?
No,
So
no. In fact, the vaccine's really been around for approximately 20 years and FDA approved. And it started out being approved just for women, but now it's approved for men and women up to the age of 45.
So now am I out of luck if I didn't
Well,
get it?
if you asked your doctor, maybe he would,
Maybe?
give
Okay.
give you a pass. But it is very good, at preventing these malignancies.
Well, Doctor, this has been incredible as always, and hopefully if we can help one person, right, prevent
That's
a
the
cancer
key.
today, or
That's the key.
that's all we can hope for. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the information and all the work you guys are doing to hopefully get to the point where one day you're going to sit down here on Cleveland Browns Daily, and we'll use this obviously as the natural platform.
We
to
can just
declare
talk
that
football.
cancer's-
We just talk football.
Yes, well, hopefully by cancer's
Yeah.
gone, Browns are winning. That'll be a perfect world.
That is nirvana, right?
That'll be nirvana. Doctor, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
We'll
man.
be back with more Cleveland Browns Daily for you right after this.
Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Before we go around the league, do we have an update on Valet Gate?
No, we're good. I think. Well, we'll find out when I walk out there, I suppose. But as of now, nobody's come back to indicate that there's anything.
I did not.
There's anything wrong.
Oh,
No.
thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Leah's fantastic.
What did you get?
Yeah.
What did you get there? What,
I think
It's a validation.
that's our
tag,
validation.
but he doesn't have one of these, so how do you?
he
get
doesn't
validation?
need it. The kid doesn't need
I'm
it.
gonna go walk right into my car.
Do you know the street value of that?
Oh, baby, big street value.
What a power play out of you. It's a great play.
Oh man, yeah. By the way, Dr. Technos is awesome.
What a
it was
guy.
great to get to catch up with him again, and it sounds like they've made. I mean, you think about just the advancements.
The AI stuff.
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, we all know, obviously, and we think about Jim, every day, but we know, when the treatments that he did and the fact that that's gone from a 30-day wait to a 24-hour turnaround is in a year
Yeah, it's
is
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, it's all happening
Yes,
so
it
fast.
he gives everybody obviously a lot of hope, going forward that you can take care of it. But if everybody listens, just do your screenings. Do your
Get your
screenings.
screenings done. Get off your butts. Do some screenings. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
You guys want to go around the league?
I'd love to.
The NFL suspends Lions safety Brian Branch for 1 game without pay after he struck Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster in postgame. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. That seems appropriate. It seems like everybody in Detroit is on the same page with that. I do think sometimes like you heard Dan Campbell's comments postgame, that's not what we're about. We don't want any part of that. But at the same time, like it is a little bit, not the fighting, but that type of bravado is a little bit how they carry themselves. And
It is.
And so you walk that fine line.
You do, and I think that you saw really from, Dan Campbell try to kind of nip that in the bud there, and he's appealing the suspension. We'll see. They're already down their corners. They're really beating up on the back end there, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, to me, it's just an intelligence test. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. And what's the idea that your big win is you're going to punch a person wearing a helmet? That's not a win. Nobody wins with that.
No.
You could break your hand.
Failure of an intelligence
And
test
it's
in
not
every
gonna-
possible way.
Yeah, and it's not. You're not going to hurt somebody hitting them in the head while they're wearing a helmet.
No.
I would imagine so.
No.
Doesn't seem like the smartest move. And he's likely gonna get suspended. They'll probably try to push it out. They've this game against Tampa, they probably would say, hey, why don't you make it for this game, and we'll try to pick an easier game on the schedule for you to get suspended. But I don't know. We'll see what the league will do.
A lot of injuries keep piling up in the National Football League. 2 Buckeye receivers went down this weekend. Mecca Buka going to be out a little while with a hamstring, and then Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson with a hyperextended knee expected to miss a few weeks per source. So already tough sledding for the New York Jets as they are 0-6, and now they lose really kind of their only offensive weapon downfield.
Well, yeah. I mean, they had the worst passing game I think maybe in NFL history last week,
Among them, yeah.
and now they've lost their number one guy there. That cannot be good. Speaking of the Jets, former Jets and former Buckeyes, did you see Nick Mangold's message?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so very tough, but basically he's posted on social media. Anybody who's listening, he's reaching out to the Jets and Ohio State communities. He's in need of a kidney donor with type O blood. If you're willing to find out if you could be a match and donate a kidney to me, please go to the site. They list it there from columbiasurgery.org/kidney-transplant. Click the link to indicate I want to donate my kidney. Use my full name, Nicholas Mangold. My birthday, which is January 13th, 1984, is deeply grateful for anyone who consider donating. So obviously he's got in 2006 he was diagnosed with a genetic defect that has led to a chronic kidney disease. He's undergoing dialysis, looking for a kidney transplant, and it sounds fairly urgent and a very sad, scary situation. So hopefully he can find a match.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thoughts for him, and hopefully that can get worked out for him. He's a good dude, and I don't know him personally, but the people I know who do speak very, very highly of the way he's always gone about his business. Titans president Chad Brinker on the firing of Brian Callahan yesterday. We aren't seeing growth. We drafted Cam first overall. We need to see him grow as a player. Senior offensive assistant Mike McCoy is your interim head coach in Tennessee. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. You fire a coach in the beginning of a rookie quarterback, and you just can so stunt that process. So whatever Cam Ward is going to be, it's now going to be harder to get there because of some of the decisions the Titans made.
Yeah, and it's a tough one and everything. Mike McCoy, was very successful until the end of a lot of games. When his time with the Chargers, it felt like they always would have leads, and then you might get like a back-breaking Phil Rivers pick six. There was a stretch there where that seemed to be the recipe for them. But he's a guy who's been around the league, been around a lot of quarterbacks. I know Callahan was as well. Now Bill Callahan is leaving. You wonder, is there an opportunity to get him back here in Cleveland? That certainly would be something that I think everybody would welcome. I know I certainly would.
Yeah, he was he's the best, maybe the best.
Just
offensive
even as an
line coach.
offensive
just
assistant,
just as an
anything.
eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Wasn't he run game coordinator when he was here?
He was run game coordinator, and he was, of course, the offensive line coach.
Yeah, just really smart guy, and you like really smart guys. One more example from around the league of the NFL winning the 49ers-Bucks game, which was in 78% of the markets in the country on Sunday, drew 26.8 million viewers. That is the best week 6 for the CBS.
Wow.
Yeah, best since 2007. A Pats Cowboys game in 2007 did 29.1. CBS is on pace for its most watched NFL season since 2015. Folks, this isn't coincidence with the NFL continue. There's nothing else in entertainment other than football. Forget sports. There's nothing else in entertainment other than football that continues to go up and up and up. It is crazy. Yeah. NFL obviously king, but then college football, it's Prince underneath it, and they just keep getting the audience every single week.
Yeah, and that was a fun game to watch, and obviously right now the Bucks and Baker, good, much watched TV. The Niners are always a good watch. That's an incredible number, though. When you think about a random day in October, that is an incredible number.
It's crazy. Absolutely is. We'll do one thought around every NFL game coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. This month's one of the local business platform presented by Minuteman Association with Medical Mutual is Envision Design Group, locally owned in Menor. Envision Design Group dedicated to crafting authentic, innovative, and affordable brand solutions. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/community/local business platform. Time for one thought around every game in the National Football League from Week 6 of the season. Hello, Gibby.
We got a little breaking news for you.
Go. What do you got?
David Bell, who I believe was here today,
Within the last hour.
Oh.
has announced his retirement from the National Football League. He said, several months ago I was blindsided by an off-field injury that was beyond my control, which put my football future in jeopardy. After consulting with medical experts and praying, I accept that continuing to play football would literally risk life and limb, although it is less I would otherwise want to do. With a heavy heart, I announce my retirement. And then he does a long thank you to everybody at the Browns. Third-round pick David Bell retires, unfortunately, and I don't know exactly what happened, but that is very sad. And
wow, yeah, that's shocking. I mean, you were wondering what was going on, and still not exactly sure what happened, but that's it. Yeah, third-round pick out of Purdue. He was incredible his last season there, and had a massive game against Ohio State, and just in terms on the football field, it never really materialized, but this obviously goes much beyond that.
Yes. What is going on right now?
What is
I don't know. It won't
What are you guys
stop
doing?
making
going
noise.
on with your computer?
I don't
We have a
know.
serious moment going on,
We do have.
and I don't even know.
All right, there we go. Now it's
You
under control.
watch.
All of a sudden, it was Razor Ramon was going to a Chili's, and they're playing his theme song. I don't know why.
I love chips and
You're-
salsa chilies.
You're,
Oh man,
you're in your For You page on your Instagram. That's what happens. You end up with
I was
Razor
definitely
Ramon.
in my For You page.
That's a tricky spot
It's
in there.
a
Be
wild
careful.
place to be right
That's
now.
A wild.
I can tell
Nobody
you that.
knows you better.
Well, I'd go ahead and actually vehemently disagree. I think I would go so far as to say, of the algorithms that know me well, that would be my Instagram knows me much better
That's what I just
than
said.
X. Yes.
Your
We're
Instagram
on the
For
For
You.
You. We're on.
Oh, you're on the X platform.
Yes, that was X For You.
Oh, no.
that
What
was
I
X For
said.
You.
Yeah, what
No.
I said was you must have been on your Instagram
Oh, yeah.
For You.
Even better
And
place.
you got to be
couldn't be
very
more
careful
correct.
there. That's very careful.
You couldn't be more correct.
Yeah, that's where you. That's
One of the
it.
greatest SNL skits ever around that. 100% true.
That's true. One thought, Gibby. How are
A
you?
lot right there. Great. How are you?
We're hanging in. We're hanging in.
One thought, Week 6 in the National Football League. Z,
Wow.
we'll start with Bo first. while
Let's
we
do it.
Let's
compose
do that.
ourselves.
Why don't
We
I go
to
first?
London, Broncos 13, Jets 11. One thought from you.
Yeah, just a clunky, gross game. You feel sorry for the folks in London that they were subjected, but at the same time, this is what good teams do. They win when it's clunky, and Denver won. And so on to the next, and it's easier to fix problems amidst a win. The Jets obviously big-time struggle bus, but good job out of Denver for getting a win when you're not at your best, and it's not great, but get that win and move on.
They didn't even show up in this game, and yet they were able to get it done. I mean, when the Jets have negative 10 yards net passing, I believe there may be multiple games where there have been negative yards net passing, and I know that Justin Fields has at least two of them because he had one against the Browns, his first ever start with the Bears when we sacked him 9 times.
Oh, we were at that
and
game.
they had negative
Yeah.
net yards passing in that game as well.
I think
I
we
felt
might
bad
have put
for him on
Miles
that.
into the Hall of Fame with that
Yeah,
game.
I think he had, what do you have, 4 in that game? 3
Something
or
like that.
4? Yeah.
Up next, if the season were to end today, the number 1 seed in the AFC would be the Indianapolis Colts. Colts 31, Cardinals 27. Cardinals fall to 2 and 4. Zagura, one thought.
Again, just a good win here. Passing ran for a touchdown. Taylor's over 100 yards. Tyler Warren continues to be an absolute stud for that team. But I'm going to flip it around on the other side and to this Arizona Cardinals team that really competed their butts off, stayed in it. Jacoby Brissett threw for 320 yards with only 32 of them going to Marvin Harrison. That is looking like, it's insane that he has not been more in the National Football League. But our guy Mac Wilson had 9 tackles and a pick. But this was a fun game that really came down to it at the very end, and he needed a late touchdown drive from Danny Dimes to get it done, and they did.
Bishop.
I'll just do the Arizona side because we had Jacoby here. We loved having Jacoby here. It also speaks to me, it's probably not a coincidence that they were able to move it this well with a more, lack of a better term, normal traditional quarterback. And it just moved easier for Arizona than it does sometimes with Kyler. So I think there's maybe something to that.
Marvin Harrison has got to be
He's
more
hurt
than
now,
what
isn't
he
he?
has been.
Didn't he get hurt in this?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah.
I think he's concussed.
Yeah, we saw it in the game. He got definitely head went down into the turf pretty good.
Up next, as we keep it moving here, the first place New England Patriots. That's right. The New England Patriots, 25. The frisky New Orleans Saints, 19. The Saints are 1-5, but not an easy out every week. Bo Bishop.
Kellen Moore's doing a really good job there. They're not getting the wins, but they play hard every week. Rattler's playing competently every week. I'll just do the Saints side of it. So good job out of both of them. You pay attention to that while you're in a struggle bus situation that they're in, but they play hard every week. They score points every week. They make it difficult on the opponents, and Rattler looks competent. So it's a good job out of Kellen Moore.
Drake May is a stud.
Yeah,
Drake May is – I don't know why he's not being talked about more, or maybe he is, and I'm just not seeing it. It's not getting into my For You. But he's not being talked about, and he is playing fantastic. Draft class, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but how good it is at the top this year. 73% completions, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks, 112 rating. I'll be honest with you, when you look at the entirety of that roster, he should be in the MVP consideration. He should be one of the top. I think, Danny Dimes, Baker Mayfield, Drake May might be your top 3 MVP candidates right now in the NFL, which is anything. And, Mike Vrabel's got to be your coach of the year, I think.
Yeah, Darnold's not far back. He'd be in that mix, too.
Nope.
Who, Darnold?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and Darnold, a late interception off of a helmet stopped Darnold from beating Bacon, one of the great.
Absolutely.
Next up, guys, the Carolina Panthers might be awful away from home, but at home they are 3-0. The Panthers take down the Cowboys 30-27. Zagura, one thought.
Rico Dowdle, 200 yards from games. That does not happen very often. He is the first undrafted free agent to do it ever, to have 200 scrimmage yards in back-to-back games. I know that Christian McCaffrey has done it, and then Jay Ajayi has done it. He's the first player in the entire NFL to post consecutive 200-plus scrimmage yard games since Dalvin Cook did it for Minnesota in weeks 8 and 9 of 2020. Just an incredible performance by him. They brought him in. People forget, it was a 1,000-yard rusher in Dallas. He gets to do this against the Dallas Cowboys. Pretty darn good for him. And then you got McMillan scoring twice. This is a big win. Bryce Young, 3 touchdowns win against the Cowboys, who are all O, no D. They do not play. They have no defense whatsoever on that team.
Yeah, Dak Prescott is playing amazing. I mean, if they had one more win or 2 more, he'd be at the top of the MVP. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. Doesn't matter. 9 for 168 out of Pickens. They score every week, no matter who they play. He's a total stud. But they really don't have much of a run game. They got nothing this week. And he's 263 scores, and he just shows up. He's really having a great season.
Did you see the play? Pickens, by the way, 32-5-25, leads the NFL with 6 receiving touchdowns. He's averaging 16.4 yards a catch, on pace for obviously well over 1,000 yards. He's one of the dominant players in the league.
Yeah.
They got him. He has been so far kind of a model citizen, but he's going to be a free agent, I think, at the end of the year. This is somebody who's going to get paid bigly at the end of this season, his 4th season in the league as a free agent coming up. But did you see the play where he caught one? I mean, his Jets, he had a slant where he just ran away from it, he got a touchdown. But he had another one where he caught it and ran across, coming after him and basically just punch him in the face, which was very.
Yeah.
Onward we go, gentlemen. The Seattle Seahawks are the road warriors in the NFL. They are 3-0 away from home. Seahawks go cross country into Jacksonville, America. They take down the Jags 30-12. Bo Bishop, one thought from you.
Seattle's legit good. Darnold's legit good. Good on him. Yeah, good coach, good organization, not going anywhere. Great defense. Jackson Smith and Jigba's a stud, and they kind of have everything figured out now. And I think it's kind of a lesson that they actually did it twice. That when you don't have the quarterback, there are other places to get him. They made it work with Geno Smith. They won a lot of games with him, and then they did it with Sam Darnold now, where these are guys who are on the scrap heap. Now they didn't pay Sam that way, but they found another way. You don't necessarily have to pick one at number 1 overall. So good job out of them.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, 696 yards, averaging 116 a game, 12.4 yards a target, 15.7 yards a touch. He is leading the NFL in all of those categories. He has been absolutely remarkable, and he was the 20th overall pick.
Yep.
And you think about where Ibuka was taken, Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's what I want. Wet my beak with some of these good receivers. Carnell Tate right next year. Come on down. Already want him. There's some other receivers, though. Mel Kiper, by the way, just released his first big board.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's got the Notre Dame. He's got the Oregon quarterback first, Moore's first, the Notre Dame running back second, the Indiana quarterback's third, and then he's got a receiver, I want to say, from...
I don't know why.
Kid from USC.
Quarterback ahead.
From USC, a receiver from USC.
Yeah, I would be hesitant on those two quarterbacks that he has that high. Yep. I think he had Arvell Reese like 5 or 6, the kid from Glenville, who's a stud linebacker, off-ball linebacker. Caleb Downs is in there for the Buckeyes as well. Might have been one more, Caden Curry maybe. And then Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate, I think, was on that board too, I think he was the third receiver.
Some breaking news from the Cleveland Browns. We have made some roster moves.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
The Cleveland Browns have signed cornerback Trey Avery to the active roster from the practice squad. In addition, the team has signed linebacker Eugene Asante and defensive tackle Simeon Barrow Jr. to the practice squad. Released tackle Joshua Miles from the practice squad. The club has also placed David Bell on reserve, retired.
So did we have to make a decision with Avery? Because I think you could only elevate 3 weeks in a row.
Yes, that's right.
So I think we had to make it.
And we got the roster spot when we released Thayer Munford Jr.
Got it. There we go, making moves on a Tuesday. Next, Ramit. Track, except special teams front. Ramit overcomes the Baltimore Ravens 7-3. Zagura, one thought.
This was an ugly game, and this was a game that you thought the Ramits were going to just go in there and absolutely annihilate them, and it was 3-3 at the half.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really run away from them. Sloppy ball from the Rams. I think the Rams had Stafford put it on the turf a couple of times. They lost one of them. They've got a guy whose last name is Landman, though, at a linebacker. He's got fumble recoveries, it feels like, every week. He had 17 tackles this week.
Jeez.
That's wild.
Is he also starring the TV show?
Yeah, he should. I mean, it's perfect. The fact that his name is Landman, they got to get him on the show. It's in L.A. They've already had Jerry Jones. Ravens are just putrid. Lamar's case for MVP just grows and grows and grows because when he is not there, it is a disaster.
Yeah. It felt to me like the Rams are like, it's 3-3 at half. They score coming out of it, and it's like, yeah, we're good. Like, that was kind of it. Like, you've seen the video of Puka Nacua, like, yelling at everybody on the sidelines. Like, they just sleptwalked through this one, and it was good enough. They covered, too. They won and they covered, and they sleptwalked.
It'll be interesting this week because they go to London. I think they're staying on the East Coast all week.
That's what we've heard. Yeah, we've heard they're working
flying at the last possible minute. Not spending any time in London.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go rapid fire because we're up against it. Raiders 20, Titans 10. Bo Bishop, one thought.
Nope.
I don't know what just happened, but you caught out completely. And we
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No comments.
No comments?
No comments on Raiders Titans. No. I refuse to comment on that putridity.
Perfect. I'll give you one then to comment on.
There we go.
27, Bengals 18.
Joe
2 minutes.
Joe Flacco had a great line in the postgame presser. He said it's amazing watching Higgins and Chase just snatch the ball out of the air. Like he kind of missed one a little bit on an out, and then he just said all of a sudden Jamar's hands just came out of nowhere, got both hands on it, and just snatched it out of the air. He goes, it's so fun playing with these guys, which I thought I was happy for Joe.
Throw it to throw it to them more. Here's my takeaway. Throw it to those two guys more. Flacco was 29 of 45. 20 of those 45 passes went to Chase and Higgins. 15 of those were complete for 156 yards and a touchdown. He threw for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. On 25 more passes, he produced 50 yards.
Yeah,
just
great
throw it
point.
to those guys. Don't make this hard. Throw it to those guys. You like watching them snatch it? Do it. By the way, on the other side, I think the Packers are a very good team. They slept walk against us. We got a lot of things had to go right for us to beat them ultimately, and they did. But the Packers, I think are still a very good team.
They let teams hang around in the fourth quarter.
They do give it.
Buccaneers, Temple. Niners.
1 minute.
Real quick.
I mean, that was one of the plays of the year, Bake on 3rd and 14. My dad was furious. By the way, so Tangis it's pronounced like that. But it's actually pronounced Tangis because that's Jim Nance was calling it, and I was like, oh my god, it's Teen. He's so close to Tangis.
So close to
How do they
Tangis.
not have him in the whole regalia?
Of course.
30.
There's a pay
Making water into wine.
Making water into wine. Yes.
Chiefs 30, Lions 17. That wraps up week 6.
Big
That
answer
wraps
by
up
the Chiefs.
a
Big answer.
Tuesday edition of the program.
That was your middle eight. The middle eight decided that one. The Chiefs got that touchdown right
15,
before half, and then they
15.
did afterwards as well. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily. We are presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.